What is good, YouTube? This is Vortex. I'm back with another RWBY Volume 6 review here. This is my review of Chapter 6 that was pushed out today. And as always, these reviews will be pushed out an hour, roughly hour and a half after the actual latest episode of Volume 6 gets pushed out by Rooster. But what an episode, guys! Really, seriously, what a great episode. This episode was really great. And I just want to talk to you all about just a few things during this review. So, guys, I want to just briefly talk about the beginning, the opening here, where RWBY was sitting on the stairs around the corner. Uncle Crow was sitting closer to a window, not far from her, kind of just glancing out and just 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 kind of just being lookout with the window there, and just resting. But I like the fact that here the girls, you know, including Maria and them, they're all like in the living room, sitting comfortably, trying to be as comfortable as possible in front of this fire, trying to stay warm. And Oscar he's pacing, but he has the pace of basically like as Ozpin, aka Ozma. And as always, guys, his mama called him Ozma, so I'm calling him Ozma. So but anyway, I'm curious as to Oscar, like, his mental stasis is definitely being challenged here, with the way how everything has been transpiring in his with his life since Ozpin pretty much came into his life. And he shows signs, like I said, of Ozpin here with him. His hands are behind his back, and he's walking, very like, very astute, like, as if he were Ozpin, as if Ozpin had already taken control of his body. I just found it very strange, but I like this like quiet atmosphere here of everybody, at least in the living room, while like I said, RWBY and Crow are off in the distance here around the corner. Now, the fact that Crow is basically, he's going through basically what we perceive as a depression, because with him finding out about Ozpin's truth, and him, basically just like turning his back on Ozpin, it, RWBY asking him if he's okay, and his response is sure, like yes but no. But he's very distant, and just like, I don't basically saying I don't want to talk about it, and just basically saying go get your rest, I'm gonna just stay up and wake you all up the next morning. Crow, in this episode, he basically is going into a stage of alcoholism, being a drunk, and he's not okay. He really isn't, to the point that RWBY, she uh, gives him a hug here a little bit after she wakes him up, and just tells him it's okay to open up. You can trust me with your thoughts. I'm here for you. It's okay to talk to me. To talk to me, and Yang too. It's okay to talk to us about your problems. Crow is, he's just really going through, guys, and it's just sad that he's going through this mentally, and it's just affecting him in such a way. It just sucks really much, that he's just going through it, guys. He really is. But I do want to mention real quick, just backing up just like 30 seconds back, from RWBY hugging Crow, that I wanted to mention that I love the fact that RWBY has really stepped up more as a character, as a leader in Volume 6. She's really done some she's really had some, like, a great character development in this volume so far. I just love it so much. She's just showing more emotions. She's not so carefree anymore. She's really showing worry, fear, frustration, a little bit of anger. She's showing more of these things, and it's just really great, guys. It really is really great. Now, with the way that episode 5 happened, and leading into episode 6, where Blake and Yang mentioned that they were tired in the episode. It sort of stuck out to me a little bit, but it wasn't like a prevalent thing. Like I was just like, huh, that's strange that they both say it. Like it was just like they both said it, and I'm sorry, not Yang and Blake, but it was Blake. I mean, it was Yang and Weiss. I apologize for that. It was Weiss and Yang who mentioned that they were tired. Here Blake mentions that she's tired in chapter 6 here, but then we get more of it from other members of the group, and then that's when it becomes a standing issue, something to really truly focus on and pinpoint. Like, oh man, like something's really truly going on here. And then, like I said, you notice that a lot of them within the group is being really affected. A lot of them really are truly being affected by something you just didn't know what it was, um, and you just sat by like, oh man. I mean, Crow seemingly was more so having a hangover. He, I guess, he showed a little bit of signs of fatigue, but the girls, they were more so affected by this. Their will to move, to keep going and stuff, it just seemed to shut down in this episode, and including Ruby, especially when she was hovering over the well. She had the relic of knowledge, kind of getting ready to drop it into the well before she uh, eventually did, by being startled by something down in the well when it lifted its eyes up, and it was red. Those red eyes popped up out from the well. Um, you know, but the thing is, guys, when she snaps out of it, but from being startled, that she there was this thing about being startled here I want to mention real quick, that she snaps out of this, out of that fatigue state, out of that unwillingness to move forward and giving up. That it just, it stood out to me that she no longer was affected by this, but the girl, like Weiss, Yang, and Blake, they were still affected by it. Oscar was, and Crow's just kind of chilling in the back. But the one thing I want to mention too, though, guys, is that literally everybody in the group except for Maria was the only one that was showing any signs of fatigue. She didn't say it. She didn't even show it in this, for the most part, in this episode, in this chapter. I just found it kind of strange that her willingness to keep going, you know, wasn't affected at all. Like I kind of found it weird. Like I said, if she if she, if she was being affected by this strange, you know, thing, this effect, she did not show it at all in 10 minutes into the episode. It just didn't show up. I just found it kind of weird that she was literally the only one that had the will to keep going in this chapter. It was just strange. But I think maybe possibly the reason why Maria wasn't affected was because she was reading a lot of these books that were in the house. Who knows how many she specifically read? It seemed like there were like 8 of them on the bookshelf, because they have the numerical numbers on the covers of them, the front covers of them. But I kind of think that Maria wasn't affected by it because she was picking up these books and she was reading. She didn't, she more than likely got some great sleep and stuff. But she just kind of kept her mind, uh, kept her thoughts going and moving, and she, like I said, she was reading these books, and I believe that that's what kept her from being affected by the this unwillingness effect that was being passed around to everybody else in the group. But then, once she gets the relic back, she gets it in her hands while the girls are still around the corner down here in the well. Because you pretty much figured that something crazy was going to happen down here while they were down here. Specifically once in at the end of episode 5, chapter 5, with that locked door, down in the wine cellar. And then, of course, when they get down here with the red eyes popping up from the from inside the well that startled Ruby, and having her drop the relic of knowledge down here, that I just, you just figured that something crazy was going to happen. Of course, this was it. You get the reason because of these Grimm here. And that's when we get the key information as to why um, the girls, Oscar, why they're affected by this, unwillingness to move forward, giving up so easily. Even Weiss mentioned something about kind of doubting herself during this whole trip once they got here. That the Grimm here, aka the Apathy, they are Grimm who are not seemingly are not strong. They're not fast. Uh, they're very slow, but their their Grimm power is to affect your mind, to affect your will to keep going, to pretty much cause you to give up and to doubt and to no longer push and move forward in life. That's their key power, and it's very strong, and it can be very effective to where you will pretty much you know lose your will to move forward, like I said. And sure enough, guys, it pretty much been confirmed. We all were thinking it, as far as Maria is concerned, as when it comes to her and Ruby. Ruby activates her silver eyes here twice in this chapter. Very, very great to see happen and occur. She didn't black out at any given points when using her silver eyes, but pretty much confirmed that that Maria does indeed have silver eyes, which Maria confirms at the very end of the episode that she had silver eyes. Keyword had, which was one of the pretty much the main reason why she's wearing these goggles, because something must have happened to cause her to no longer have them. Who knows specifically what? Maybe we'll get that in the next chapter next week, in chapter 7. Who knows for sure? But it is confirmed finally, from a lot of us who were theorizing, especially from the intro, when you see the intro and you see Maria pop up first, and then right behind her pops up Ruby. So there was like a connection there. You kind of theorized it, but you just weren't sure. But needless to say, Maria used to have silver eyes, but she no longer does. And so, guys, great chapter, very, very great. It was very, very like a fun and great chapter, with everything that happened with the entire group here, that, what they went through. And, it kind of, it does challenge their mental stasis where they were prior to coming to, this farm here, even being here and even after leaving. It's just a test of their mindset moving forward, that it hopefully will bring them closer to each other. Hopefully will help Uncle Crow out here. Help him out to get him back on track. But who knows for sure, because specifically between him and Osmond, they need to have a serious conversation, which that should happen uh, hopefully soon. But in the midst of that, I'm also curious too. Why didn't Osmond pop up? Why didn't he show up during this whole situation? He may have locked himself in Oscar's mind, but he had to have heard and seen and felt everything going on. I'm just very curious as to why he didn't show up here. But anyway, needless to say, guys, I really enjoyed chapter 6. What did you all think of chapter 6? Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections. Let's have a chat, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this review, and I will chat with you all with more discussion videos to come on chapter 6, and as well as my reaction and review of chapter 7 next weekend. But with that, guys, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace, guys.